They handed everything to my sister while I was still sweating through 80-hour weeks, building their dream brick by brick. The same parents who promised me the business, who said my hard work would never go unnoticed, turned their backs on me without hesitation. I stood there, papers in hand, watching them celebrate her as if I never existed. My whole world crumbled in that moment. But what they didn't know was that I had already started writing a very different future for myself. Before I continue, if you want to see how Christine flips betrayal into power, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because this story will shock you at every turn. You won't believe how the tables turn later. Christine's parents had always made her feel like the dependable one, the daughter who never complained, who picked up the slack when her sister slacked off. For years, Christine carried the weight of the family business, working late nights, missing birthdays, ignoring her own dreams, all because she believed her sacrifices would be rewarded. But when the truth came out, when the announcement was made at the dinner table with champagne and smiles, Christine's chest burned with anger. Her sister smirked across the table, enjoying every second of her humiliation. What nobody saw was Christine's quiet smile. Because she had stopped working for their dreams months ago. And in silence, without telling anyone, she had been pouring those same sleepless nights into something else. Something only she knew about. Christine walked out of that dinner with her heart pounding, but not from defeat, from clarity. Every insult her parents had thrown at her, every time they said she wasn't as charming as her sister, every night they dismissed her hard work as just her duty, all of it replayed in her head. For the first time, she didn't feel broken. She felt free. Free from chasing approval that was never coming. Her sister flaunted her new title as the official owner of the business, parading around the town, bragging about deals Christine had actually worked for. Friends and relatives whispered behind Christine's back, mocking her silence, calling her a fool for wasting her best years on a family that clearly never valued her. But Christine didn't argue, didn't defend herself. Instead, she smiled and kept moving quietly, because deep down, she knew what no one else did. The world was about to see her in a way they never imagined. Every night, while her family believed she was sulking in her small apartment, she was building. She invested the little savings she had into her own project, something bigger than the family business. Christine studied, planned, and worked in secret, often until dawn. The same hands that once signed orders for her father were now signing contracts for her own company, her own empire in the making. The humiliation of being erased from the family legacy had transformed into fuel. And the more her family mocked her, the stronger her determination grew. Because Christine wasn't just planning to succeed. She was planning to crush every single doubt they had ever thrown her way. Months passed, and Christine's silence only made her family more confident in their decision. Her parents hosted a grand party to celebrate her sister as the new leader of the family business. The entire hall was filled with relatives, business partners, and old family friends. Christine was invited, but not as a daughter to be honored, only as a guest, someone they assumed would sit quietly in the back, forgotten. When she walked in, whispers started immediately. "That's Christine," someone muttered. "Didn't she used to run everything?" Another laughed. "Yes, but she was never good enough. The sister is far more polished." Christine heard every word, but her calm smile never faded. She took a seat near the corner, eyes fixed on the stage where her sister stood in a glittering gown, soaking in the applause. Her father tapped the microphone, his voice booming across the hall. "We are proud to announce that the future of this company lies in the capable hands of my younger daughter. She is the reason our legacy will continue for generations." Christine's chest tightened, but not with pain. This was her moment to watch and wait. Her sister smirked, scanning the crowd, and when her eyes landed on Christine, she couldn't resist. "Oh, I see Christine is here too," she said loudly. "I hope you're not too upset. After all, not everyone is meant to be a leader. Some people are just Workers. Laughter rippled through the hall. Christine's hands tightened around her glass, but she didn't speak. Instead, she stood up slowly, her presence alone silencing part of the crowd. She walked closer. Every step measured, her calmness unsettling those who expected her to crumble. Her sister leaned into the mic again, mocking, "Christine, maybe you should give a toast. Thank me for carrying the family name forward." The audience chuckled, waiting for Christine to finally break down in embarrassment. But Christine simply smiled, her eyes sharper than ever. She raised her glass, her voice clear, steady, and commanding in a way no one had heard before. "Congratulations on your title, but tonight, I'll let everyone in this room know. The legacy you're clinging to isn't the only empire in this city anymore." A murmur ran through the crowd. Her parents froze. Her sister's smirk faltered, and the air grew heavy with curiosity. And Christine? She didn't flinch. This was only the beginning of the storm she had been preparing. Gasps echoed through the room, but Christine didn't sit down. Her calm voice cut through the silence like a blade. "For years, I worked 80 hours a week for this company, building it brick by brick, while being told I wasn't good enough. You gave my blood, sweat, and years to her, as if they were nothing." She pointed slightly toward her sister, who shifted uncomfortably under the eyes of the crowd. Her father tried to interrupt. "Christine, this isn't the time." She raised her hand, silencing him. "No, father, this is exactly the time, because everyone here deserves to know the truth." She pulled her phone from her purse and tapped a button. The giant screen behind the stage flickered, replacing the family company's logo with slides of massive construction projects, luxury, brand partnerships, and skyscrapers bearing Christine's name. The hall erupted in gasps. Her mother's voice trembled. "What is this?" Christine's eyes glistened, but her tone stayed sharp. "While you were busy convincing yourselves I was weak, I was building my own empire. I own properties in 3 countries, partnerships with global investors, and a company whose value has already crushed the so-called family business you handed away like candy." The relatives leaned forward in disbelief. Whispers shot across the hall. "She's richer than all of them. Is this real? She destroyed their company already?" Christine turned toward her sister. "You laughed when you thought I was only a worker. But now, you'll have to live knowing the worker you mocked owns the ground you stand on." Her sister's face turned pale, and her father sat frozen, his proud expression gone, replaced with pure humiliation. Christine placed her glass on the table and whispered loud enough for the hall to hear. "The empire I built wasn't for your dreams. It was for mine. And tonight, everyone will finally see who truly carries the family name forward." The audience exploded in applause, some even standing to cheer, while her family sat in stunned silence. Her father's hands shook as he slammed the table, his voice trembling with rage. "You think this makes you better than us? This family built you, Christine. Without us, you'd be nothing." His words echoed through the hall, but they only sounded desperate, not powerful. Christine smirked. "Without you? Let me remind you. I was the one who worked unpaid nights. I was the one who fixed your mistakes, and I was the one who signed deals while you slept. You used me as free labor while giving her." She nodded toward her sister. "All the credit." Her sister tried to stand tall. "That's not true. Everyone knows Dad trusted me with the company because I'm capable." Christine cut her off with a laugh that silenced the entire hall. "Capable? You don't even know how to read a balance sheet. Shall I show everyone the emails where you begged me to cover for you?" Gasps rippled again, and Christine held up her phone as proof, flashing screenshots of desperate messages asking her to fix failed contracts. Her mother leaned forward, her voice sharp. "Christine, stop embarrassing the family. Do you want to ruin us in front of everyone?" Christine's eyes narrowed. "You already ruined me when you handed my life's work to someone who never lifted a finger. Now it's my turn to show the world the truth." Whispers turned into loud chatter among the guests. Some relatives nodded approvingly, others shook their heads, but all eyes stayed locked on Christine. A powerful businessman in the front row leaned toward another and whispered just loud enough. Her empire. I've heard of it. It's worth billions. Her father's face drained of color. Billions? Christine leaned on the table, her voice low and deadly calm. Yes, billions. While you thought I was still slaving away for scraps, I was buying out your competitors. And soon, I'll own the very contracts that keep your company alive. The hall erupted into chaos, some clapping, others stunned into silence, while Christine stood tall, her presence commanding the entire room. The hall had fallen silent again, the weight of Christine's words crushing every attempt at denial. Her father stood frozen, his pride stripped away, his lips trembling, but no sound escaping. Her mother clutched her pearls, eyes darting around the guests who now whispered like vultures circling a carcass. Christine slowly stepped forward, her heels echoing against the marble floor, every click a reminder of how far she had come without them. She stopped in front of her father and leaned in close, her voice sharp and unshakable. You called me weak. You called me a burden. You erased me from this family so she could shine. But tonight, in front of everyone, you see the truth. I didn't need this family. This family needed me. Her sister tried one last time, her voice breaking. Christine, please. We're still family. Christine straightened, her cold gaze cutting through her sister's desperate plea. Family doesn't abandon. Family doesn't steal. What you are is nothing to me now. She turned away, her back to them as if they were already erased from her life, and the guests parted like waves, giving her a path of respect. Some clapped softly, others nodded in admiration, but all of them knew they had witnessed something unforgettable. At the grand doors, Christine paused, glancing over her shoulder one last time. Her voice rang clear through the hall. Enjoy the ruins of your empire. I'm done being your shadow. With that, she walked out, her head held high, leaving behind a family drowning in their shame in a hall filled with whispers of her power. The night ended not with her defeat, but with her undeniable triumph.